Okay, question 17. The table gives information about the number of minutes that Abby spent walking each day in September. Alright, so this is the table. Work out an estimate for the total number of minutes that Abby spent walking in September. Alright, so first step, we're gonna get the average of all the minutes, which means, for example, the first one of between 0 and 30 minutes. What is the average time spent? It will be the middle number, which is 30 plus 0 divided by 2. In this case is 30 over 2, which is 15 minutes. So I'm just going to write here 15. Let me do one more example. So we're going to find the average of 30 to 60 minutes. 30 to 60 minutes would be 45 minutes. Right, so I'm going to write here 45. I'm going to write down all the values of all the averages. So the averages are 15, 45 minutes, 75 minutes, 105 minutes and 135 minutes. What we're going to do is we are going to take our average numbers. In this case, the first one is 15 minutes, multiply by the frequency. We're going to add with the rest of it. 45 times 6, 75 times 8, 105 times 9, 135 times 2, and this is going to give us different sets of values, which are, let's just say, equals to 75 minutes, 270 minutes, 600 minutes, 945 minutes, 270 minutes, and all of this is going to equals to 2160 minutes. Right, so that is the total number of minutes Abby spent walking, because it's an estimate. On to question 18. Nanette buys 60 notebooks for a total of 780 dirhams. All right. Nanette sells 70% of the books for 22 dirhams each and sells the remaining notebooks for 19 dirhams each. Work out Nanette's percentage profit. Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. Alright, so step 1 is always write down all of the steps. Write down all of the information that they have given us. We know total books is 60. Total cost, wait a minute, total books 60, total cost 780 Ds. Right, and we know that Nanette sold 70% of the books for 22 Ds and the rest for 19 Ds. Alright, so first we are going to find out what is that 70%. How many books was it? Alright, so out of 60 books, 70% would be how much? We know 60 equals to 100%, therefore 70% would be how much? It would be 70 over 100 times by 60, giving us an answer of 42 books. Right, so that means she sold 42 books for 22 Ds. And what is 60 minus 42? 18 books for 19D. That gives us a total profit of 42 times 22. Oh my god, my handwriting. Wait a minute. 1266 dirhams, right? Alright, so what I'm gonna do now is clear up some of the top here so that we have some empty space to do our work. Alright, so we know that she made 1266 dirhams and her total cost was 780. Alright, so that means 780 dirhams equals to 100%. What does 1266 dirhams equals to? 12660,780 times by 100% gives us 162.307%, which means she made an additional of 62.3% profit. Percentage profit, yes. So, which means our answer is 62.3. Alright, next question. Number 19, the diagram shows a sketch of triangle A and B on a coordinate grid. A, given that triangle A has been translated to give triangle B, work out the value of D and the value of E and the value of F. Okay. So how I would do this question is, I would look for 2 points in which both values were given. In this case, these two. Okay. So with those values, I can find out how much of a difference does the point move towards the X, in this case towards the X, and upwards towards Y. So what I mean is from 7x and 2y, it goes to 6x and 12y, which means there is an addition of 10y's and 13x's, right? So that means we can work out the rest of the points. Rest of the points, for example, let's do this one first. We know the starting point is -11 and 5. It goes to 2 and D, right? So D would equal to -5 plus 10, which is 5. One done. Right, so same case for the rest of them. We're gonna do this one next. So from F, -3 goes to 9E, is it? Yeah, 9E. Right, so 9, we're gonna go this way this time because our value, our F is on the left. So that means 9 minus 13 is -4, and for E we're going to go back this way. -3 we're going to plus with 10, that's going to give us 7. So therefore E is, E is 7 and F is -4. Alright. The diagram shows shape P and shape Q on a shape Q drawn on a grid. Describe fully the single transformation that maps shape P onto shape Q. So in this case, shape Q is an enlargement of shape P with a scale factor of, so now we need to know the scale factor is what. We know that this is 1:1, right? X is 1, Y is 1, but that's not the case for shape Q. 1, 2, 3, this is 3, this is 3, so that means it is basically all of the values times by 3 multiplied by 3. So that means it's a scale factor of 3 and it's an enlargement. With the center, okay, the center you gotta use a ruler, right? A ruler would give you a more precise answer, right? So it's gonna be, you're gonna join both lines. It's gonna be somewhat like this, right? I did a mistake on here. This is actually supposed to go straight here. Ignore this line, right? So our center value is center 0 and 2. X is 0, Y is 2. That would be our center value. Use a ruler, connect all the points, and you'll get this value. Right, so on the grid above, rotate shape P 90 degrees clockwise about point X is 3 and Y is 5. Label your new shape R. So that's X3 and Y is 5, and we are going to rotate the paper without moving the pencil 90 degrees. Use the marked T, use the mark T. So it's going to be something like alright. So we're reaching question 20. The diagram shows a shaded shape AEBCD made by removing a triangle AEB from rectangle ABCD. Alright, work out the perimeter of the shaded shape. Okay, so this is quite easy. What we gotta do is, first we need to find out what are the lengths. We know that since this is actually a rectangle, this is actually a straight line. Alright, this length and this length would be the same, which means that's 6, and of course this length and this length would be the same. But since that length is not given, we need to find out this length. Now this length can be found with Pythagoras. Right, so let me just draw a similar looking triangle over here. This is E, this is B, and this is A. 7.2, 5.4, 90 degrees. So the formula for Pythagoras is actually a squared plus b squared equals to c squared. Alright, so this is our C, A and B. So this is very simple. You just put in the values. 7.2 squared plus 5.4 squared equals to C. We don't know C, so this is going to be C squared. Put all the values into a calculator. You would get that 7.2 squared is actually 51.84. This would be 29.16, and this would be C squared. Plus both together, 81 equals to C squared. When squared, a squared number comes over across the equals to sign, it becomes a square root. Therefore square root 81 equals to C, and when you put square root 81 into your calculator, you will get that C equals to 9. Alright, so when C is 9, which means this length is 9 centimeters, and henceforth this is also 9 centimeters. So with that, we can solve our perimeter. Just add all the values in. That would be 9 plus 9 plus 6 plus 6 plus 7.2 and 5.4. That would give us the answer of 33.6 centimeters. Alright. 21. Simplify 2c to the power 4 d to the power 7, the whole thing cubed. Now the easiest way to do this would be basically cube the whole thing. Put the trees into all of the values. Okay, so this would equal to 2 to the power of 3, c to the power of 4 times 3, d to the power of 7 times 3. This would be 8, c to the power of 12, d to the power of 21. Now that is our answer. 21b, find the value of 5y to the power of 0 where y is more than 0. Right, so we know that y to the power of 0 equals to 1. Okay, therefore 5 times 1 equals to 5. So part C, factorize fully 16a squared b cubed plus 20a cubed b. Right, so this is quite simple. We got to factorize everything, find out what values can be taken out from this. Now what I know from this equation, when I see, I know that 4 can be taken out, a squared and a cubed, a squared can be taken out, b cubed and b, the lowest which you can take out is b, because that's how it works. Otherwise you would have a negative over here, and that's not how we want to factorize it. We're going to put in the values, 4b squared plus 5a remainders. This would be our answer. It's quite simple actually, because when you multiply inwards, we would get back our answer. 4a squared b, 4b squared plus 5a. Part D1, factorize x squared plus 9x minus 22. X squared plus 9x minus 22. What two values, when multiplied we get negative 2, and when add together we get positive 9. So two values are positive 11 and negative 2. Do the maths. 11 times negative 2 is negative 22. We got negative 22 here. 11 minus 2 is 9. We got 9 here. So those are the two values that we are going to break up. We're going to write it like this: x plus 11 minus 2 x plus 11. Right, so these are the two ways you can break up 9x and 22. This would equal to x minus 2 as one factor and x plus 11 as the other factor. Right. Alright, so part 2, hence solve x squared plus 9x equals to negative 2 when it equals to 0. We know the factors of this equation already. It's x minus 2 and x plus 11. Right, bring the multiplication to the other side, it becomes division, and we know whatever number divided by 0 equals to 0. So this just made everything easier. X minus 2 would equal to 0, x would equal to 2, x plus 11 would equal to 0, and x equals to negative 11. So there are two x values for this equation. X would equal to 2 and x would equal to negative 11. Alright, question number 22. The region R shown shaded in the diagram is bounded by 3 straight lines. Find the inequalities that define R. Alright, so what is the most easiest lines to find out is when the straight line such as this, right, it's not slanting, it's a straight line. So straight lines such as that, you just need to find out where does it cut across. Okay, the first one I can see is this one. This is the line where x is equal to 1, but that is not the answer. The line x equals to 1, but the region that they are looking for is this way, right, where x is lesser than or equals to 1. It's either 1 or lesser than 1, right? So that is the inequality symbol that we're going to use for the first line. X is lesser than or equals to 1. Same for this line over here. This is the line where y equals to negative 2, but they want the region where y is more than or equals to negative 2. They do not want lesser than, they want more than, right? So let me just write that equation here. more than or equals to -2. For this line, you got to do some extra steps, okay, but it's not too many. We can do it. First of all, we need to find out the gradient y equals to mx plus c. We need to find out what is m. M would equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So what is this y2, y1, x2, x1? They are actually points. We are going to choose 2 points from the line. It can be any points anywhere. I'm going to take 0 and 4 here, and -2 and 0, these 2 points. So my first point is, this is so far the answer. My first point is 0 and 4. My second point is -2 and 0. Right, so this would be x1, y1, x2, y2. Fill in the blanks. This would be y2, which is 0, minus y1, which is 4, divided by x2, which is -2, minus with x1, which is 0. Our answer would be -4 over -2, which is 2. Alright, so we got what is m. Right, so m is 2. That is our gradient. M equals to 2. Right, so that means y equals to 2x plus c. Now what is c and how to find it? C is the point where the line crosses the y-axis. In this case, the y-axis is crossed here. X is 0, y is 4. Right, so therefore y equals to 2x plus 4. Right, now what we got to do, we got to find out the inequality of the line. Which direction are they wanting us to search? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to randomly pick a point. I'm going to pick this point. Right, x is 0 and y is 1. Fill in the blanks into my equation. Y is 1 equals to 2, 0 plus 4. 1 equals to 0 plus 4. We know that 1 is lesser than 4. In this case, because it's a straight line, it's not a dotted line. No, it's not a dotted line, therefore it's lesser than or same as. So this is our inequality symbol, and this is our equation. So the 3 equations are, let me just clear up this. X lesser than equals to 1, y more than equals to -2, and y lesser than equals to 2x plus 4. Alright, question number 23. Write 300 as a product of its prime factors. Show working clearly. Right, so this is quite a simple, but it takes a little time. What we're gonna do, what I would do is, I would write the value 300. I'm just going to divide it by 2 first. Right, divide it by 2 and I would get 155 balance. Divide that by 2, I would get 2 and 75 balance. Divide that by 3, I would get a balance of 25, and 25 I know I can be divided by 5 and 5. So these are my prime factors: 2, 2, 3, 5 and 5. Right, so my answer is going to be, right, I'm going to write my answer over here: 2 times 2 times 3 times 5 times 5. Multiply this into a calculator, you're going to get 300. Alright, okay, so for part B, we got A and B. Find the lowest common multiple, LCM, of 5A and 7B. Alright, so first of all, we need to find out what is A. You just put this sequence or multiplication into the calculator, and I got an answer of 360. As for B, I got an answer of 540. So therefore 5A would be 5 times 360, which is 1800. 7B would be 7 times 540, which is 3780. Alright, so now what we're gonna do, we are going to find the prime factors of both of these values. Same like how we did for 300 earlier. I'm gonna put 1800, divide that by 2, get a balance of 900, divide that by 2, get a balance of 450. I can divide that again by 2, get a balance of 225. This I can divide by 3 and get a balance of 75. Oh, this is long. Divide that by 3 again, get 25. Divide that again by 5 and 5. So my factors are 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 and times 5 and 5. As for 7b, which is 3780, is the same steps. I am just going to write the working over here. Right, so just like that, we have the prime factors of both our values. Now what is the first step we got to do? We got to see what is the maximum of each value. Alright, so for 2, let's just take 2. Alright, we know that the maximum value is 3. Alright, here for 3780 we have 2, for 1800 we have 3. Alright, so 2 to the power of 3 is the maximum. I'm going to multiply that by the next value, which is 3. For 3750 we have 3 times 3 is 3 times, so 3 to the power of 3. As for 5, we know that 1800 has 2 times of these 5's squared, times by 7. 7 only has ones, and this is going to give us a value of 37,800. That is our answer. 24. Solve the simultaneous equation. Show clear algebraic working. Right, so this is one of my favorite questions. It's super easy to do. It's just basic algebra. Right, so first of all, we're going to find out either x or y. Right, I'm going to choose x. So I'm going to choose the second value, the second equation, 7x plus 3y equals to 8. I'm going to move everything apart from x to the right. 7x would equal to 8 minus 3y. X would equal to 8 minus 3y over 7. And then what we're going to do, we're going to place x into the first equation. Right, so this would equal to 2 brackets 8 minus 3y over 7 plus 9y equals to 14.5. What I'm going to do is multiply 2 in first. That would make it 16 minus 6y over 7 plus 9y equals to 14.5. Multiply the whole equation by 7. So I can cut off this. This will be 16 minus 6y plus 63y equals to 101.5. Bring all the y's to one side. You're going to get 57y equal to 101.5 minus 16, which is, what am I doing? 57y would equal to 85.5. And lastly, 57y, I'm going to bring the 57 to the other side, which means y would equal to 85.5 divided by 57, and that gives an answer of y, which is 1.5. Alright, so with y we can now solve x. Put in y's value 1.5 in here. So x would equal to 8 minus 3, 1.5 divided by 7. Put that into a calculator, make life easy. X would equal to 0.5, and this is 1.5. Right, so that is the end of this paper. Blank page.